right, so first, after introducing myself, here is the agenda of the presentation. We'll talk about a little bit about Athani. I know that most of you know us, so I won't spend too much time on this. We'll talk about the overall gaming market today, what we've seen and what we forecast in the future, what's driving the growth of the market, where the opportunities lie, of course, and who really is leading the way. So to give you an idea of who we are, I know that most of you know us, but for those of you who don't, we are here to help really publisher build better app businesses. What does that mean really is that we feel that with the single hub for insights into all key aspects of the app business and app economy. Athani has the industry's deepest competitive intelligence into the apps ecosystem. And we really enable app publishers just like you to extend reach, improve retention, and ultimately increase revenue, which is what it's all about. We are the clear leader and most trusted brand, kind of like I like to call it the Switzerland of the mobile ecosystem. We provide data, unbiased data, accurate and instant metrics, critical really to a fast-growing and dynamic industry such as the app ecosystem. This is a quick slide to show who do we partner with today. If for some of you who have known me and have known Athani for a while, if you looked at this slide 3 years ago, it would be very, very different. Mostly you would see video games companies. Today, over half of Google Play and iOS revenue combined is generated by Athani customers. And it's not just gaming, but although gaming is the majority of it, we are in pretty much every single vertical that you can imagine. But at heart, we are gamers, and again, my background is into gaming, so very close to the gaming industry, and that's what we'll talk about today. Just another final slide about how we are organized. Today we have 450 employees globally across 15 locations. We have some very strong partners on the finance side. We raised about $160 million in several fundings with some of the top investors in the Silicon Valley. Our global HQ is in San Francisco. I'm based personally in London, where our European headquarters is. We have R&D offices in San Francisco, in Beijing, in Amsterdam, through the Distimo acquisition. Some of you may be familiar with it, and other regions. So very, very global, just like the app economy. It was really important for us to have a global presence in all those different markets. So let's jump into the fun part of the presentation, the gaming market. We're going to go into a quick overview of the gaming market today. So I hope you can see this slide. I want to highlight that this slide is consumer spend, so that you know what you're looking at here. In 2016, publishers on the store were paid over $35 billion in revenue across the iOS App Store and Google Play. This represents a 40% rate of yearly growth, which surpassing 2015 rate. Revenue on the iOS App Store alone grew by nearly 50% in 2016, which is quite impressive, increasing its lead as the highest revenue generating platform, of course. The increase in the iOS App Store's revenue was largely driven by China, as you can imagine, which contributed nearly, close to half of the annual growth. Sorry, I'm drinking a little bit. Consistent with the previous years, games were by far the revenue leaders, of course. In 2016, games generated 75% and 90% of all App Store revenue on both the iOS and Google Play, respectively. On the iOS App Store, of course, the role-playing game subcategory alone generated half of all revenue. As a whole, the game revenue in 2016 grew by 45% versus 2015, and more than 80% if you compare to 2014. While the App Store revenue continued really to soar, it really represents less than half actually of the revenue in the app economy. When you include third-party Android store and advertising revenue, the 2016 total amount paid to publisher increased to nearly $90 billion. Of course, revenue growth will be driven by two things. Number one, a strong smartphone and app adoption in developing economies. And number two, mobile apps' ability to capture a greater share of the wallet in the mature economies. Moving on to what's driving really this growth of the market. Well, we forecast that the install base of the smartphone and tablets will more than double from 2.7 billion in 15 to 6.2 in 20. Smartphone adoption in emerging markets will really be the primary driver of growth due to really the sharp rise in new, less affluent customers from emerging market entering the mobile economy. We feel that average revenue per device will take a small temporary dip in the near term. And as these markets really mature, the average revenue per device will rebound and exceed 2015 levels. By 2020, as you see on the slide, the increasing revenue per device will magnify the impact of install base expansion and accelerate really the growth of the overall monetization economy. Okay, globally, consumers are spending more time in-app than ever before. Apps are really increasingly becoming the go-to resource for communication, for entertainment, for shopping, for productivity, and more. I mean, no need to tell you that, you're very familiar with this. As a result, of course, the time consumers spend in-app has completely exploded. The total time spent in-app increased by over 150 billion hours year over year, reaching nearly 900 billion hours in 2016. I mean, this is a massive, massive growth. More countries experience over 20% year-over-year growth. The US alone saw roughly 25% growth. Of course, communication and social apps like WhatsApp and Facebook are attracting the largest share of the time spent. However, time spent in games has grown by 15% since 2015 and over 55% since 2014. So not a small growth at all, for sure. Moving on to the next. Oops, sorry. So the users are really spending more money in games. The ARPU has been significantly increasing in some of the world's biggest gaming markets, as you can see. Really, Japan was the clear standout among the countries we take a look at. On average, the top 30 games in Japan monetize over twice as effectively as the top 30 in the US. Really, this was mostly entirely driven by RPGs, as you can imagine. Which account for roughly 2/3 of Japan's top 30 games by revenue. While the Japan maintained really its overall ARPU lead, China, however, stood out in terms of growth, increasing nearly, as you can see, 10x since 2014. Major growth from China. Again, RPGs were the driving force in China. However, a deeper look really. We try to understand a little bit better the growth behind the Chinese stores. And if you take a deeper look, you reveal that specific type of RPG, which are MMORPGs, you guys are very familiar with that subcategory, were really, really important in the growth. Of course, NetEase was notable in terms of MMORPG, monetization with two games, which was Westward Journey Online and Fantasy Westward Journey. They both in the top 5 by ARPU among China's top 3 game providers. All right, I'm moving on to next. So what are we really saying here? App users in more mature market have already established the app they want to use and when. The frequency and length of time they spend accessing app is growing rapidly, as is the money they are spending really. However, it's harder to get them, of course, to download and try new apps in those well-established markets. And they may need a little more of a push than other markets to try new products. So of course, a solid, a strong app strategy can help you navigate those very lucrative markets, but definitely complex market to get to the top of the chart and really monetize your apps. What we also, in front of you, what you have in front of you, it also explained that the app downloads, usage, and revenue are really extremely intertwined. The trajectory of each of these metrics within the country is really dependent on its level of maturity. Of course, in the early stages, the install base of device and download growth most rapidly as consumers discover the apps. Over time, what we call the app habits of a specific user develop and evolve. People become more engaged with their go-to apps, really the apps that they want to play with or that they want to go to. And overall, the time spent in apps is starting to grow at this specific point. Of course, this increases the engagement and it leads to growth in terms of revenue via in-app advertising, of course, app store purchase, and others like e-commerce. So this is really how a traditional app market will evolve over time. So where really are the opportunities today for all of you guys? So what are we looking at here? We're looking at the compound annual growth rate for different countries. It's important to note that the figures you're seeing are based on the most recent forecast information that we have at Appani, and they include net to publisher revenue. So they are after the App Store cut, and it also includes advertising revenue and revenue from third-party Android stores. So the overall size and growth potential from app market can really vary widely actually across countries. You really need to factor this data now when you develop your app strategy. If you look at the slide in front of you, throughout 2020, the US and China are forecasted to significantly widen their lead for combined in-app advertising and App Store net revenue. China is really the single-digit largest market by growth, consumer spend on mobile App Store. However, lower average App Store fees combined with what I would say the higher advertising spend and the higher CPMs helped really the US rank #1 by net to publisher revenue. And in parallel, Japan's revenue growth will be tempered by its in-app store revenue maturity and its more modest level of in-app advertising revenue, I would say. It's important to note that even if it's relatively small in terms of an absolute revenue, India will experience the fastest growth of any country with at least $300 million in revenue in 2020. Okay? So again, I think that if we go back to the previous slide I was showing you, you really have two types of markets: the mature market, less mature. In the mature market, all about monetization, usage, time spent. In the less mature market, all about the downloads, which eventually will drive monetization and time spent and all that. It's important to understand which strategy are generating revenue, and they're all different. Based on the countries. In-app advertising generates a huge portion of the app revenue. In addition, the majority of App Store revenue comes from the freemium model, as you know. Both really of these models appeal to a much broader user base by eliminating the upfront cost, of course. You just don't have to buy a game before you start playing it. Unlike more traditional, I would say, gaming platform or traditional console gaming, although traditional console are also starting to embrace in the past few years the new model. Despite a healthy growth rate, paid and premium will remain an extremely small part of the overall market, as you can imagine, although they will continue to be successful for the right apps. That's what we've seen in the past, and we are confident that this trend will stay the same in the future. However, that picture, I would say, looks very different if you start to break it down by country, which is what you have in front of you. If you look at Japan's mobile app revenue, the majority of it really comes from the app stores. It's driven by the success that in-app purchases have had in the market, and especially for the gaming category, actually. In fact, Japan has the highest App Store monetization per user versus any other country. Of course, the high use of television ads in Japan, as you all know, help to drive the App Store revenue through user acquisition and re-engagement for mobile game, and definitely contribute to that growth for sure. Overall, if you look at each of the 5 key countries, we really don't anticipate the mix App Store and in-app advertising to really significantly change throughout 2020. All right, moving on to the next slide. Oops, sorry. So here we are looking at the top subcategory for Google Play gaming revenue. It's important for you to understand why we choose Google Play. And it's because, as you know, the gaming subcategories are simpler since games can only be in one category versus in the iOS where they can be placed in multiple categories. So we thought that Google Play was really more representative of the subcategory growth and split. Of course, no surprise really here. The RPG category, the largest one, followed closely by strategy, action, puzzle, casino, casual, and casino, of course. And however, really these rankings can widely vary based on regional preferences, which going to lead me to my next slide here. So the same comment as before regarding the store that we're looking at. We are looking at group data because it's a little bit easier than iOS when you do a subcategory breakdown. So if you look at the US, and the strategy category is of course led by the likes of Game of War, Mobile Strikes, and Clash of Clans, as you know. In the case of Japan, the RPG category is really led by Fate Grand Order, Colopole, Grand Story, and Grand Blue Fantasy. All these games are made by Japanese companies and as always have cultural tie to that market. As an example, if you look at RPGs in Japan, many of them make heavy use of the gacha monetization method. I don't know if you're familiar with it, which is essentially paying money for a chance to win a random item. It's been going on for a long time in Japan. I'll move on quickly. Just notice here the RPGs account for nearly 2/3 of Japan's top 30 games by revenue. It's important to note. All right. moving on here, I'll go very quickly here. Worldwide downloads by rank. Pokemon Go, of course, #1. Piano Tiles, Subway Surfer, Scyther.io, Clash Royale, My Taking Talk, Color Swift, Candy Crush Saga, Clash of Clans, Traffic Rider in the top 10. Again, we're looking at the download rank worldwide for the gaming category. Here, this is analysis on Pokemon Go. I want to move fast because I don't think I have much time left. So I have a couple of more slides, so I'll share those slides with you. Okay, perfect. Anyway, I'll share those slides with you. This analysis on Pokemon Go is essentially to show you how fast Pokemon reached the $800 million mark on worldwide consumer spend. 2.3 times faster than Candy Crush, 3.5 times faster than Ultimate Dragon, and 4.5 times faster than Clash of Clans. So a very interesting analysis. Moving on to here, we're looking at what's interesting for Pokemon Go. We're doing a Pokemon Go dive here. What's really interesting is that Pokemon Go really we didn't really see any meaningful or sustaining impact of Pokemon Go on either the usage of our revenue generated for other gaming apps. So Pokemon Go essentially took the money somewhere else, which was really interesting for us because we didn't really see, if you subtract Pokemon Go from the daily revenue, you don't really see any kind of change in the market for the gaming category. Here we're looking at how Niantic was keeping their user engaged with new events and features constantly. They're keeping their title relevant, as you can see in October 25th. They had some really good Halloween content that allowed them to grow for another 5 to 6 days. And then eventually they did the same thing during Christmas. They had very relevant content that they launched for Christmas, allowing the game, you don't see it here, but allowing the game to go back up in the charts. So again, very important to keep updating your app with relevant content, and definitely a strategy that works for Niantic. We're looking at here, so we looked previously at the downloads, now we're looking at the top 10 in terms of revenue. So Monster Truck from Mixi, Clash of Clans, Pokemon Go, Game of War, Clash Royale, etc., etc. As you can see in front of you, number 10 being Fate and ordered by Sony.
Sorry, Nick, I think it's the last slide for now, because the time is over. Yeah, sorry about that.
Well, I could keep going for hours. I'm sorry. We have so much data that we would love to share with you. So anyway, thank you for your time. I think it's actually, you know what? I think it's actually the last slide, so that's perfect. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Happy to share the slide with you with the team.
Thank you. Hope you'll come to the next conference and view the book yourself.